My name is Tony from Beyond Focus TV. Tonight, I'm excited to interview Miss Judith Jacques, and we'll be right back.
Beyond Focus TV allows you to discuss contemporary topics affecting the Caribbean people on both a national and local level. The show features informed guests who offer insight, debate, and evaluate various issues. Beyond Focus TV builds on the station's mission to provide useful information to the Caribbean people in New York and abroad. Beyond Focus TV, where our viewing audience can get educated, informed, and empowered.
Welcome back to Beyond Focus TV, and tonight I'm speaking with Judith Jacques. Hi Judith, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you for having me.
Well, for the people who don't know who you are, I want you to tell us who is Judith Jacques and why are you sitting here today?
Well, thank you so much for having me again. It's a pleasure to, this is my second time at Beyond Focus TV, so it's always a pleasure to be here. I am CEO and founder of Blackstreet, and I guess I'm here so you can find out more about me.
Yes. So what is Blackstreet and what is the initiative behind Blackstreet?
Blackstreet, it started off as a website, as a platform to basically cater to the Black community. I wanted to change the narrative. Initially, I saw that our community, the way that we are perceived in media platforms, the ones that were in control on television or even on radio or on print or what have you, on any broadcast medium, there was always this negative connotation associated with our community as a whole. Or if there was a positive, it only seemed that the only way for us to attain success was either through entertainment as well as sports. So I wanted to create a platform instead of just moping around and just complaining about the issue. I wanted to create a platform where we could highlight the Black community in a positive light and change our narrative and showcase that there is much more to us than what is being portrayed.
So under Blackstreet, I think that's very exciting. So under Blackstreet, you have a few subsidiaries, correct?
Yes, I do.
So can you tell us a little bit more about that, and why was it important for you to create subsidiaries under a bigger umbrella as opposed to just having one company and creating platforms for just this one company?
It's funny that you asked that because initially I did not intentionally create the subsidiaries. Like I mentioned earlier, Blackstreet was supposed to just be a website where I would feature DJs and nurses and teachers, whoever, and from whatever industry. I wanted to show that we were not in just one particular bubble. And from the website and the response that I was getting, I created Black Celebration Awards, which is the first subsidiary. And Black Celebration Awards is an annual award ceremony where we would honor individuals within 20 different industries. There's a voting process, and once the date comes, we announce the finalists, and people would be in their tuxedos and their gowns. It was just an absolutely beautiful and momentous event. So that's how Black Celebration started. Then following Black Celebration, I love cooking shows. I don't know about you.
I love to eat.
Yeah. And I feel like, in terms of our community, especially the Black community, food is a big part of our culture.
Yes.
So that's how Black Culinary Expo was created. Watching these cooking shows and cooking competitions and just on television. I'm always on a Food Network. So I always realized that when it came to our communities, Black people was always a small percentage. And I feel like that's some misinformation, because if anything, we taught the world how to season their food.
Right.
So why then is this small percentage of individuals that are being represented, from our community and all of these platforms?
And you mean on the cooking shows?
On the cooking shows, on the cooking competitions, whatever centers around food, we're always like the minority of a minority.
Right.
It's always like one or two Black people. I don't know if you noticed, but I watch a lot of cooking shows, so I've noticed. And it was an issue of mine. So I decided to create Black Culinary Expo to highlight, these individuals and give caterers, chefs, restaurants an opportunity, even winemakers and beverages such as juices. There's Black-owned waters, not just P. Diddy, who has Aqua Hydrate, but there's other Black-owned waters and Black-owned juices and wines and beers that people are not aware of. And I wanted to create a platform where we could celebrate that. And then Black Women in Media came. My background is I have 10 years in communications, marketing, advertising, and public relations. And when I got my BA from St. John's University, I started interning at these large firms, PR firms, and I was always the only black girl. Always.
Yeah.
If there was another black woman or male, they were biracial. So it seemed to me that they were hiring me, or they were bringing me on board as part of a quota that they had to meet. And I felt like there was this misrepresentation, because I knew a lot of publicists or people in the communication sector who were doing phenomenal jobs and in their respective field, and they were black. So why then aren't they being represented in these agencies and these firms? So black women, especially particularly black women. So Black Women in Media was then created as my third subsidiary, because I wanted to highlight women and media-related roles, as well as entertainment, because we're underrepresented.
Right.
There really is. If you notice a woman in front of a camera and any platform, you know that she has really dominated her field, and it's undeniable that she deserves that seat. So it's like almost you have to like move mountains in order for you to have these platforms. So I wanted to just have a space where we celebrate each other and we educate each other, and that's
So
really
are these websites, media platforms, or are these events?
Yeah.
What is it exactly that you do that brings people out to celebrate these individuals?
Yeah. So under Black Street, the three subsidiaries, Black Culinary Expo, Black Celebration Awards, Black Women in Media, all of them, we have an annual award ceremony or event that caters to that subsidiary. So Black Celebration Awards is the award ceremony. Black Women in Media, we have our conference, which is actually coming up March 28th and 29th right here in New York City, and Black Culinary Expo, which is an expo, it provides businesses to exhibit, either their restaurant, their catering company, or just their, what their expertise is in that particular industry.
And how far back did you start doing all of these things? It sounds like a lot of work. So
Oh my God, is it? I started in 2010. That's when I launched the company. And quickly after, I created, the award ceremony to cater to our our community. It wasn't intentional, for it to be what it is today, but I've always been eager and very passionate about the Black community. Anyone who follows me knows, I'm extremely passionate about our community. I feel like we have contributed from the very beginning of time, to other cultures and other races. So, and we continue to cater to, contribute. Why then isn't these contributions being highlighted? And I, created these events to highlight that.
Do you think we've made progress going back to 2010 to now we're in 2018? Have we made progress? Do you feel like you're contributing to that progress? Or is there a lot of work still to be done?
I mean, it's funny that you asked that question, because one thing that I realized about myself is, one thing this is the issue. The progression isn't being noted. It's not being highlighted. And I feel like, there's much more that we can do. But especially in 2010 and that era, social media started to become the new rave.
Right.
It's given us a platform for us to speedily execute our missions and so on. So I think we're doing phenomenal.
And with that, we'll be right back. Again, this is Beyond Focus TV, and my name is Tony. Welcome back. This is Tony, and you're watching Beyond Focus TV. So, if you've been watching, our guest today is Judith Jacques, and she's been explaining to us why she founded Black Street, her company, just to highlight Black people, people of color, and her three subsidiaries: Black Women in Media, Black Culinary Expo and Black Celebration Awards.
Yes.
So I wanted to kind of continue that conversation.
Right.
So being that you are a Black woman and you are in media and you gave us a rundown of your background in communications, marketing, PR, and being the Black girl in every role that you've kind of had when you've been in corporate America.
Yeah.
So now Black women in media, from my own research, is kind of the most popular of the three, correct?
Yes.
And being that you represent that, have we made progress, right? We see Viola Davis, Ava DuVernay,
and these particular in this particular industry?
Yes. In media, in film, television, film, production, even in music, the Cardi B's now.
Yeah.
Have we made progress? Do you like what you're seeing? Or is it being done well, rather?
There's always room for progress. I do feel that Black women are underrepresented in all of these fields. I believe it was last year, the year before, Oscar So White was created, when, like mostly all of the nominations were predominantly white. And we knew that, especially that previous year, there were movies that showcased people of color like just outstandingly doing their craft. Why then weren't they nominated? And it's always I always have this issue that, in order for us to be nominated for Oscar, for example, in terms of film, we have to represent a role that is relative to slavery or this negative stereotype, like Denzel Washington winning the movie, I don't remember, Training Day. And Monique winning for Precious, and Halle Berry winning for Monster Ball, and all of these roles, they weren't positive roles. Like, these individuals, they were either conniving or they had mental issues, or, it's Lupita Nyong'o, who was, for 12 Years a Slave, I believe, and she was a slave. So it's like, why can't I be, this leading role and be nominated for being phenomenal?
But don't you think that the Issa Raes now don't you think that we've kind of progressed? Not only are we acting and we're starring,
we're producing,
we're writing.
I think we were always doing those things.
Yeah.
I think that now that women are more vocal, Black women specifically, but Black women are being more vocal in terms of their roles and demanding the recognition. But I think we were always doing that. I think we were always writers and screenwriters and directors and producers and so on. And a lot of times, too, these opportunities weren't handed to us, because of our skin color. And, I mean, it is what it is. Like, it seems that the psyche of races, predominantly, they think that education or intelligence is relative to skin color.
Right.
And it just, I don't get it. It boggles my mind if, education as a whole started, from us. Why then is it now, like the psyche of what intelligence is? I feel like it's that negative connotation. But to answer your question in terms of progression and so on, yes, there has been some progression, but there's always need for more.
And what about Black men in these similar roles? I know that, even as a Black woman, we're very vocal, right? And I find sometimes that the men aren't, even when they face similar challenges. Do you think it's our responsibility to carry them with us, to champion for them as well, because we're so vocal?
I absolutely agree that Black men do face the same challenges that women do, Black women do, but we face more. So a lot of times, just being a woman is in itself a challenge, but being a Black woman in terms of, a societal structure, we're in the bottom of the totem pole. So if anything, I believe that the Black men should be more vocal for the Black woman. A lot of times I've been in rooms where I've seen, I've seen a Black man and he would have to speak up for me and he doesn't. Or, we would share